Salutations, Utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Action packed day today. We had some baseball. Aaron Jones out there doing his thing. We had a doubleheader in the W1 is actually going on right now, but I want to get this video out as quick as possible because this video being Game 4 of the NBA Finals between OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Wow. I think tonight was more about Oklahoma City than it was Indiana. Um, Back against the wall, pivotal game where you could potentially go home 3-1, down 3-1, and there was that sense of urgency in some players on OKC side. Um, some very gritty performances. Uh, don't get me wrong. Let me tell you this right now. Nembhard played his heart out. It was crazy watching him guard Shea. Not only was playing him excellent, keeping him at a low field goal percentage, prevented Shea he did that while preventing Shea from getting to the free throw line. Then turn around exactly on the other end. What trips me out is that while he's playing great defense, he's also doing his part scoring, which we've seen glimpses, in game one when they upset OKC on their own home court. Here's the problem if I was to make it about Indiana. Halliburton had sub 20 points. You know who did get 20? Alex Caruso on OKC side. This is supposed to be a guy who's a defensive player. And obviously Halliburton has other tasks, facilitation, distribution, making, making his threes when he needs to. But down the stretch, there was times he was trying to ISO on SGA, and SGA just wasn't going for it. Conversely, SGA rough the first three quarters, and I'm going to tell you this is the highlight of this video right now. If you don't got time to watch the whole thing, seeing how gassed and exhausted that SGA looked in that first quarter, it all dawned on me now why Daigneault was willing to compromise a little bit of height to put Cason Wallace in that starting lineup, because this is going to be expected to be a 6-7 game series, forcing SGA to be the sole ball handler. Obviously Jalen Williams is there, but he's kind of a score first kind of guy. He wants to get his buckets. I know he's a team player, but at heart he's a bucket getter. And so a neutral guy like Cason Wallace, who's a little more passive, has shown great leadership and distribution skills. I'm watching this guy in that Denver series throw lob after lob. It all makes perfect sense why Daigneault started the series one way, and as the series is progressing today, he went a lot bigger, went a lot larger when it was his jumbo lineup. I think it was Hartenstein, Chet, Lou Dort for sure started, Jay Will, and then for sure there was no Cason Wallace. Let me just be clear on that. And he looks exhausted without Cason in that starting lineup. And got into that fourth quarter and then nerfed into like MJ flu game. There was one play, he went baseline. Knee, man, the amount of knee strength this guy has, the hammy quad knee connection is calf is just unbelievable, because he's baseline falling apart, crumbling like a tower of Jenga, and then just recomposes himself and hits a fadeaway, detaching himself from the physical defense Indiana was playing, and they were hovering all over him for 4 quarters. I mean, old school 94 press, 94 feet pressing him. And shout out to Chet Holmgren. His offensive rebounds, his second chance opportunities off the glass were priceless. I mean, he didn't have nothing too crazy. He was another, I think, under sub 20 in points. But them 15 rebounds, I think he had about 6 or 8 points on just offensive putbacks and dump offs on the blind side that he recovered. Amazing showing. This was just a gritty physical performance by Oklahoma. It wasn't pretty. They have yet to dominate from start to finish. Indiana has shown a lot more fluidity the last couple games. There was more control from the jump from Indiana, and yet in the end, Oklahoma showed that we too can find ways to win. And that's what you really want to see. But I have an amazing amount of respect for Daigneault because he's literally coaching by duration of series in mind, and for him to go out there and employ this, now we're in game 4 going into game 5 in OKC, back to the jumbo lineup, which I personally would have never went away from. But now when I see how tired Shai is from bringing the ball up, and seeing how many, when you think about it, Ben Shepherd, Nembhard, Nesmith, Shai, Halliburton, TJ McConnell, they got so many people they can just pester you with for a full game that it doesn't even matter, about conditioning. We can just, it's like almost kind of like the Warriors in 2016, where they could throw so many wings at LeBron that it didn't matter. Meanwhile, Shai is having to play a long amount of time. It's quite remarkable, honestly. This was a definitely well-earned game on the road. I wouldn't say it's as heartbreaking as the game 1 was for Indiana to go into OKC, but they definitely handled business. You definitely have to respect what Oklahoma did today to knot up the series going back home. There is a little bit of exposure in Indiana. If Mathurin would have made some free throws, it definitely could have went a different way. But unbelievable job still, for Indiana to hold their ground. There's no lost hope. This still feels like a 6-7 game series regardless. And so kudos to them. I could definitely see this series coming back to Indiana. But it was this was a great game. It was definitely entertaining. And I'll leave it at that. I hope I was informative, Utopians. I try to do better next time. Global. Out.